All rise. We will away. Please be seated.
Thank you very much. It's found.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fall.
Before we left Mr. Witness, we were looking at a video which you identified as containing images of the event that you talked about in your diary. That is the event in which Honorable Ruto went to submit his nomination papers. Do you recall that?
Yes.
I would want to play more images of this video so as to give you a chance to see whether you can identify or you recognize some of the areas that have been shown in the video. Are we together?
Yes.
Could you kindly play the video starting from minute 6 and 32 seconds, please? Stop it there, please. Mr. Witness, there is this building that we just saw, Bismillahi Hotel. Does that ring a bell to you? Kindly please move it a little backwards, please. Belgood Bismillahi Hotel, something like that? I think it's Lengut. Yes, play it from there. Lengut Bismillahi Hotel. Could you see it?
Yes, I've seen.
Are you familiar with this building, Mr. Witness?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Do you know where this building is located?
Yes, I know.
Could you kindly tell the court, please?
Yes, this Bismillah Lengut Hotel is in Eldoret town.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. The time stamp is 07 minutes and 5 seconds, and Bismillahi is B-I-S-M-I-L-L-A-H-I, Lengut, L-E-N-G-G-U-T, and Hotel, H-O-T-E-L. Bismillahi Lengut Hotel. Please move on, please. And Mr. Witness, there is this tall white building at the background. Do you recognize this building?
No.
All right, we would proceed. Mr. Witness, There is a building being showed to the top right of the screen with colors white, maroon, and green. Do you recognize this building?
No.
Do you know the Standard Chartered Bank building in Eldoret?
Yes, I know.
Does this building remind you of the Standard Chartered Bank building in Eldoret?
Yes, indeed.
The timestamp is 0.725 minutes. And perhaps this is a video we would have to use again later. So I would not show any more images of it, but you agree that this is in Eldoret town. Is that right, Mr. Witness?
Yes.
And is this the nomination convoy you said you saw on the day this event took place? Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Mr. President, before I move away from these videos, may I ask that they be put into evidence? And the first item is KEN-D09-0018-0098. That is the video contained in track 1, which we have showed earlier. We ask that it be put into evidence.
Mr. Steinberg?
Your Honours, I have a couple of observations. The first is that the provenance of this video is unclear. It doesn't appear from the video to be a news report, or certainly doesn't contain any stamp like that. It seems to be undated. There's no indication of it, of the date. But I do note that the witness has identified certain locations on the video. So to that extent, to the extent that the witness has identified locations that are shown on the video, the prosecution has no objection to going in.
We have no objection on our part, Mr. President.
And Mr. President, I think the witness has gone beyond recognizing certain locations. He did say that this is the convoy that he saw, and that is the convoy that he described in his statement, wherein Honorable Ruto was being escorted by youths to go and present his nomination papers. So the witness did actually see this event taking place, and that is what he claimed to have described in his statement.
Mr. Fowl, it is one thing to see a video of Mr. Ruto in a certain room with certain, presumably officials, having an exchange. Whether or not it is the nomination filing, paper filing process, it's something else. But at least it's one thing to see him there in that contained environment and the witness speaking to it. But to show him a crowd in another image in a video, and tell him, well, is this the convoy? And he says, yes. What are we supposed to make of that? How have we established a realistic link between the witness's knowledge and the convoy and the crowd as the convoy of the nomination?
Mr. President, I really do not wish to belabor the point. I see where Your Honor is coming from, but there are lots of other elements that need to be taken into account. You recall, Mr. President, the witness's testimony is that there was a youth rally, and then the youth escorted Honorable Ruto to go and present his papers. This is one video we have showed, broken down into several excerpts just to ease the presentation. We first show the youth rally at Honorable Ruto's home, and I have drawn Your Honor's attention to certain segments of the transcripts wherein he is saying, my fellow youth, give me your vote. We have also seen that, according to the witness, the youth were gathered at a particular location, Miley Tisa escorting Honorable Ruto to Eldoret. we have showed in the video that he stopped at Mailini and did say, people of Mailini, I am here going to present my papers.
All right, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
The point I make is this. The prosecution has given you, I do not want to use the word leeway because it's not about leeway, but he said, well, he's prepared to not object to the video to the extent that the witness has clearly identified certain locations to him. Isn't the rest a matter of argument for you when the time comes for you to argue that beyond those images, there should be something else? Do we have to accept your intended use for it in all its elements before the video can come in?
No, Mr. President.
Yes.
In that case, I withdraw all other arguments and just ask that the document be admitted into evidence. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Kinkatwa?
I already indicated, Mr. President, that we have no objection.
The video comes in as the next in the Ruto defense exhibits.
The public document KEN D09 00180098 will bear the number EVD T D09 00247.
Thank you. May I ask that the corresponding transcript, KEN-D09-0038-0695, be also admitted into evidence?
Where is that tab again?
It's tab 23, Mr. President.
Steinberg?
Your Honours, I noted when my learned friends were referring to, this transcription or translation from lines 114 onwards, that there seems to be an inconsistency in the way that this document is dealt with. For much of the document, we have what appears to be either Swahili or Kalenjin. I can't tell the difference, to be frank. Transcript followed by a translation. But then for the page he referred to, we have only the translation without the original language. I'm not sure if that's an omission from the document, but that's my observation as to possible issues with the completeness or correctness. But subject to the normal caveat that we don't admit the correctness, we have no objection to it going in at this stage.
We have no objection, Mr. President.
The document is admitted as the next in the Ruto defense exhibits.
The public document KEN D09 0038 0695 will bear the number EVD T D09 00248.
Mr. President, we ask that transcript contained in KEN-D09-0027-0006 contained in tab 24 be admitted into evidence.
Mr. Steinberg?
Your Honours, just the observation again that this is only the translation without a transcript, but subject to the normal caveat, we have no objection.
We have absolutely no objection, Mr. President.
The document is admitted as the next Ruto defense exhibit.
The public document KEN D09 0027 0006 will bear the number EVD T D09 00249.
Mr. President, and the last item we would ask to be admitted is KEN-0027-0027-0010. It's the second document in tab 24. Thank you, Mr. President.
Same situation from the prosecution, Your Honor.
We similarly do not object, Mr. President.
Admitted as the next Ruto defense exhibit.
The public document KEN D09-0027-0010 will bear the number EVD T D09-00250.
And Mr. President, I played 3 tracks of the same video. So the document has one ERN number because it is one video. I just thought I needed to clarify that. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, in your statement, you told the prosecution that you came across this convoy while you were at a particular town in Eldoret, location C. Excuse me, when you are in location C, not in Eldoret, in location C. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And Mr. Witness, you told the Office of the Prosecutor that this event took place on the 3rd of December. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I would now wish to show you a newspaper. It is the standard newspaper, Saturday edition. It is contained in tab 25, and the reference number is KEN-0038-0436. Court officer, kindly put it up the screen, please.
The document is being shown to the witness.
Court officer, kindly expand it, please. Thank you. Mr. Witness, would you agree that this is the Saturday Standard newspaper of 24 November 2007? Look at the date, it's on the top left corner.
Yes.
And I will read out some few paragraphs for you and then ask you questions. On the left-hand corner, the 4th paragraph, I will read it out for all to hear. It says, Raila, the Orange Democratic Movement candidate, presented his papers in Kibera. Kibaki and Kalonzo have a date with the returning officers of their constituencies today. Do you see that?
Yes, I've seen.
I would now read out the last paragraph on the contained in the same column as the one I had just read. It's the column to the far left of the document, and it reads as follows. Speaking after presenting his nomination certificate in Sabatia, his running mate, Mr. Musalia Mudavadi, said, "The red flag is up, and it is time for us to go full blast in our campaigns." Did you see that?
Yes.
I now take you to the next column. The 4th paragraph. and it reads as follows. In Eldoret, another Pentagon member and outgoing Eldoret North MP, Mr. William Ruto, addressed a rally at Eldoret Municipal Park and dismissed yesterday's statement's poll as a plot against the Orange Party. Did you see that?
Yes.
And in the middle of the paper, you have this headline, Livondo now under probe over papers. Did you see that?
Yes.
And the first paragraph under that headline reads as follows. PNU Langata parliamentary aspirant, Mr. Stanley Livondo, could be headed for trouble a few hours after being cleared by the Electoral Commission of Kenya. It emerged yesterday that the candidate might have used forged documents in the electoral process. Did you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes.
And this paper is dated when? Take a look at the top left corner.
November 24th, 2007.
Mr. President, at this stage, may I ask that this document be admitted into evidence? It is KEN-D09-0038-0436.
Mr. Steinberg?
Your Honours, I'm constrained to make the same observation with one of the previous documents, that it appears to be a continuation from page 1 of an article, so it does not appear to be complete. And for that basis, I request that it be MFI'd until it can be properly established.
I think, Mr. President, the purpose for which we are using this document is to show that the nomination exercise took place on the 23rd of November. And it is quite clear in here that certain individuals presented their nomination papers and were cleared on the 23rd. In fact, Mr. President, I have just emphasized on that when I looked at the presentation of papers by Mr. Livondo. And here it said quite clearly, it emerged yesterday that the candidate might have used forged papers in the electoral process. We've also seen that Mr. Mudavadi also presented his nomination papers, as well as Honorable Odinga, the day before. So, Mr. President, this objection is definitely not well-founded. This document clearly shows that this event occurred on the 24th, and it is on that basis that we seek its admission. Thank you.
Mr. Steinberger, he's explained why he's using the material.
Your Honours, my only observation is that in order to rely on the contents of the material, it must be reliable and authentic, and I submit also complete. I stand by my earlier submissions.
What did we do the last time? I forget now.
The last time we MFI'd it, Your Honours.
Mr. President, that one it was understandable because the article started from the previous page and then continued onto the other page. On this particular occasion, the information that is needed to assess the date the event occurred is all contained on this page. It's not necessary to waste time by MFIing it and subject the defense to having to bring the other pages. This is enough for a determination about what is being reported, Mr. President.
Is it too complicated to get the first page?
No, absolutely not, Mr. President. If it is required, we can even bring the original of the entire document. But considering that the court uses an electronic system, it makes matters even more complicated, we say, Mr. President. This is a newspaper of 24th reporting the events of 23rd November. That is indisputable.
Would it be your argument that the Livondo inset is complete on its own?
Mr. President, you have to juxtapose it with all the things that are mentioned in the article.
Yes.
So the answer is yes in that respect.
Mr. Fowler, at this stage, we will MFI this document.
As your honors, please.
Yes. So the document will be marked for identification.
Mr.
Subject, of course, to the is that page 1?
Yes, we'll just produce the entire document. Thank you, Mr. President.
The document KEN D0900380436 will bear the number MFI T D0900251.
Mr. President, may I at this stage ask that we play track 4 of the video that we had just played for the witness, and play specifically from timestamp 5 minutes 43 seconds to 7 minutes 54 seconds. The transcript should be contained in tab 26, and specifically I'd be referring to line 63, Mr. President.
Nimalizie watu wa Eldoret nikisema hivi, kwa sababu nataka kwanza tuweke alama ya ODM tuone hao watu wajue tuko pamoja. Hapo na kule Tungwa. Tumesema mwaka huu watakiona. Tunaona hiyo? Ni kampuni ya mtu anaitwa Wanjui. Wanjui ni Mungiki. Na wanapanga ati ile opinion poll itafuata ati Kibaki atakuwa ameshinda hapo. Hiyo inawezekana? Sisi tunawaambia Mungiki na huyo Wanjui pamoja na hiyo statement tukutane kwa debe. Tuko pamoja? Wananchi wa Kenya wameamua kubadilisha uongozi wa Kenya na vile Kenya inaendeshwa.
Thank you. Mr. Witness, did you hear what Honorable Ruto said in that clip?
Yes.
Could you give the court a summary of what you heard?
Yes, I heard him talking about the opinion polls, that the opinion polls was favoring the PNU side, and he was saying that he was telling the people not to mind about the opinion polls, but what will come out during voting.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. In this video, would you say that he's wearing the same clothes as the ones you saw him wear when he presented his papers, his nomination papers. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
I would now like to play another video. And this is KEN.
Before you do, can you... what do we do with the transcript we have?
I would wish to put it into evidence, but I was going to come back to it anyway. But thank you for the guidance, Mr. President. I'll now ask that the transcript be admitted.
No. Let's have the witness. Can you put back the transcript to see whether that, if you can read back the transcript to the witness? Because he's given us a gist of what he's understood that. Why don't we do this? Let's play that again for him.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you take it back to timestamp 543, please? And play it all the way to timestamp 710.
Witness, listen carefully to the speech and then tell us if you've got more details of what is being said. People are being mentioned and that sort of thing.
Huyo anaitwa Victor. Sasa nataka nimalizie watu wa Eldoret nikisema hivi. Kwa sababu nataka kwanza tuweke alama ya ODM pole. Hao watu wajue tuko pamoja. Watu wa ODM. Hapo na kule. Tungwa. Tumesema mwaka huu watakiona. Tunaona hiyo. Ni kampuni ya mtu anaitwa Wanjui. Wanjui ni Mungiki. Na wanapanga ati ile opinion poll itafuata ati Kibaki atakuwa ameshinda Agwambo. Hiyo inawezekana? Sisi tunawaambia Mungiki na huyo Wanjui pamoja na hiyo statement tukutane kwa debe. Tuko pamoja? Wananchi wa Kenya wameamua kubadilisha uongozi wa Kenya na vile Kenya inaendeshwa. Ni kweli ama si kweli?
Please stop it there. Thank you very much. Mr. Witness, I will read out from this transcript.
No, wait. Witness, can you tell us again from in your own words whether some people were mentioned in that short speech and what the mentioning of those names say? Did you hear that?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. So it seems Ruto was summarizing the meeting, and he was saying that there is that company calling itself Statement, which normally do the opinion polls, and it belongs to somebody called Wanjuhi, and that Wanjuhi is a Mungiki. And Mr. Ruto was telling them that they should be told that they are going to meet in the ballot, not the opinion polls.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, would you require me to read the... Yes, thank you. Mr. Witness, this is the transcript we have, and tell us whether it coincides with your understanding of what you've just heard. And it is as follows. I'm reading specifically from line 63, Mr. President, to line 67. And this is what it says. We have said that this year they will see, and then the rest of the words are unintelligible. And then he goes on to say, it's a company belonging to a man called Wanjui. Wanjui is Mungiki, and they are planning that the opinion poll that will follow will show that Kibaki will be leading Agwambo. Is that possible? we are telling them, Mungiki and that Wanjui, together with that statement, let us meet at the ballot. Are we together? The citizens of Kenya have decided to change the leadership of Kenya and how Kenya is led. Is it true or not true? Did I read that out clearly, Mr. Witness?
Yes.
Does that coincide with your understanding of what you heard?
Exactly.
Mr. Witness, do you know he was referred to as Agwambo in 2007 elections?
Yes, I know.
And who is that person, if it is a person at all?
It is Raila Amolo Odinga, who was the presidential candidate for ODM.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Witness. Mr. President, before I move on, let me ask that this transcript be admitted into evidence. It is KEN-D09-0018-0129. It's contained in tab 26, Mr. President.
Mr. Steinberg?
Subject to the normal caveat, no objection, Your Honor.
No objection, Mr. President.
Admitted as the next Ruto defense exhibit.
Mr. President, for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Fall. The document KEN-D09-0018-0129 will bear the document EVD-T D09-00252.
Thank you. Mr. President, for the record, I'd like to spell Agwambo. It's A-G-W-A-M-B-O, Agwambo. Thank you. Mr. Witness, we had seen this newspaper, the newspaper of the 24th. Just give me a second. It is KEN-0038-0436. It was MFI'd. Mr. President, it's MFI 251, and it is tab 25 it was. Do you recall that I read out a paragraph of what was attributed to Ruto? And it says, in Eldoret, another Pentagon member, William Ruto, addressed a rally at the Eldoret Municipal Park and dismissed yesterday's statement poll as a plot against the ODM party. Do you see that?
Yes.
Would you agree, Mr. Witness, that that is what you also saw on that video?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. May I now ask that this video be played, KEN-D09-0027-0016. The transcript is contained in tab 27, KEN-D09-0036-0010.
ODM supporters clashed with PNU supporters, running battles with police, tear gas. It was not clear what prompted the clash, but there has been tension among supporters of both parties. PNU's Beth Mugo and ODM's John Kiari nevertheless presented their certificates. In Eldoret North, William Ruto of the ODM Pentagon was cleared to battle it out with Kanu's Jonathan B, among others. Another ODM Pentagon member, Charity Ngilu, was cleared for the Kitui Central seat. She will be fighting it out for the seat with 10 other candidates. And in Langata, ODM presidential candidate Raila Odinga was exuding confidence as he arrived at Nyayo National Stadium, where Langata candidates were presenting their certificates. Raila will be competing with at least 7 candidates, among them Ndura Waruinge of UDM. Raila's main rival, Stanley Livondo, also sought to put up a show of crowds as his convoy entered the stadium. Livondo is vying on the PNU ticket in a constituency that is considered a must-watch in the battle for votes. So that's the nature of the battle for the Langata parliamentary seat, a high-profile seat, an expensive seat, going by the amount of resources that have been invested in it. Raila's running mate Musalia Mudavadi was cleared for the Sabatia parliamentary seat to contest against PNU's Moses Akaranga and ODM Kenya's Francis Chahonyo. In Juja, stakes are also high. Both George Thuo and William Kabogo, who have been at loggerheads, have been cleared. Kabogo on Sisi Kwasisi and Thuo on PNU. In Kiamba, the Stanley Githunguri and Njenga Karume rivalry was already at play. Karume is in PNU while Githunguri is vying on KANU ticket. In Gatundu South, Uhuru Kenyatta, the KANU chairman who is supporting President Mwai Kibaki's re-election, was cleared to run on a KANU ticket. In Starehe, Minister Maina Kamanda of PNU will contest among ODM's Bishop Margaret Wanjiru. Wanjiru said she did not want to take chances and arrived the first at the Kenya Polytechnic. Back to the chaotic areas, and Nyakach experienced these scenes. The impact of the first come, first served basis. Peter Odoyo, who had been disqualified by ODM, had attempted to sneak on a fake ODM ticket allegedly, but supporters of the genuine candidate, Daima, would not allow it.
Mr. Witness, did you see that video?
Yes, I've seen.
You would agree that this video talked about Raila Odinga having presented his papers at Langata?
Yes.
You agree also that the newspaper that we saw of 24 November also said that Raila Odinga presented his papers in Langata?
Yes.
You would also agree that the video talks about Eldoret North MP William Ruto have been cleared to battle with KANU's Jonathan B. Do you recall that?
Yes.
You would also recall that it talks about Stanley Livondo having presented his papers, right?
Yes.
The newspaper also talked about Livondo being in trouble because of the papers he presented. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Do you also recall that the paper talks about, or rather the video talks about other candidates like Murungaru having presented their papers, right?
Yes.
And the video also talked about Musalia Mudavadi having presented his papers. Is that right?
Yes.
That too is reported in the newspaper that we looked at, the Saturday Standard of 24 November. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And Mr. Witness, all these were reported on the newspaper of 24th November 2007, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Witness, the point I am making to you is that the nomination exercise took place on 23rd November 2007. Honorable Ruto presented his nomination papers on 23rd November 2007. What do you say to that?
I agree.
Why, Mr. Witness, did you tell the prosecution that you saw Honorable Ruto escorted by youth to go to Eldoret to present his papers on 3rd December 2007?
It is because I was not sure of the date. I just guessed.
You made it up?
Yes.
You cooked it up? Just repeat your own words.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Before I leave that point, you made up the information that is contained in your diary, correct?
Sorry?
You made up the information that you recorded in your diary, correct?
Yes.
Wherever that diary was made, the entries were not contemporaneous with the events. What do you say?
Maybe you can put it in a language I can understand well.
The entries were not made on the date the events occurred. What do you say?
It is true.
In fact, all those entries were made on the same day. What do you say?
You are true.
And before I leave this point, the youth rally, the rally took place before Honorable Ruto was escorted to Eldoret to file his papers. What do you say?
I don't know that one.
Well, you lied in your statement, Mr. Witness, when you said that you saw the convoy at 2 p.m., Honorable Ruto going with the group to his home in Sugoi for lunch after the nomination. That's what you said, isn't it correct?
Yes.
That also is wrong, Mr. Witness. What do you say?
Yes, it is wrong.
You lied about it. That's the truth, isn't it?
Yes.
Mr. President, before I leave this, I would ask that these documents be admitted into evidence. KEN-D09-0027-0016, that's the video we saw. It's a news report about submission of nomination papers. Thank you, Mr. President.
Prosecutor?
This is the reason why we should probably do this at the time. I can no longer recall whether this document had a banner of a news report on it, but subject to that, I have no objection.
We do not object on our part, Mr. President.
Admitted as the next in the Ruto defense exhibits.
The document KEN-D09-0027-0016 will bear the document EVD T D09-00253.
Thank you, Mr. President. And the transcript for the video is contained in KEN. It's tab 27, Mr. President. KEN-D09-0036-0009.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
Admitted as the next in the Ruto defense exhibits.
The document KEN-D09-0036-0009 will bear the number EVD T D09-00253. 60254.
Thank you very much. Mr. Witness, earlier on, I showed you one of the videos that was track 1 and asked you whether you recognize the building that was showed there. Do you recall?
Yes.
And the building I showed you was, we say, Honorable Ruto's house. Do you remember me saying that?
Yes, I remember.
And you told the court that you do not recognize that building. Do you recall?
Yes.
In fact, Mr. Witness, you said those buildings. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And when I asked you further, you said you've never been to that particular place. Do you recall?
Yes.
When you spoke to the prosecution, you told them that you attended a meeting at Honorable Ruto's house. This is contained in paragraph 64 of your statement. You said you attended a meeting at Honorable Ruto's house on 13 December 2007. In your statement, it's mid-December. In your diary, you said 13 December. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you said, you told the prosecution that you attended that meeting with the persons listed in the defense PIS, person A to H, and person R and S. Do you recall telling the prosecution that? Please take a look at the PIS. Take a moment to look at the PIS. It's person A, person B, person C, person D, person E, person F, person G, person H, person R, and person S. Do you recall telling the prosecution?
Yes.
Mr. Witness, we...
Person R and S?
Yes, Mr. President.
You have two PISs?
We had a revised one, Mr. President. My apologies if it hasn't reached you. Do you recall saying that to the prosecution, that you attended this rally, or rather this meeting at Honorable Ruto's home on 13 December 2007, together with all these people I have mentioned?
Yes.
And in your statement to the prosecution, Honorable Ruto arrived at the meeting at 10:30, and the meeting continued until 1:30 p.m. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Mr. Witness, we have obtained the telephone numbers of some of the people you have mentioned and asked an expert to obtain their call records from Safaricom and have them analyzed. And Mr. Witness, would it surprise you to note, Mr. President, the report is contained in tab 98. We are not seeking to admit that report. I just put it in to give me a reasonable basis to put my propositions to the witness. This is not a document we are asking to put in evidence at this stage.
Yes, Your Honours, my objection is not to the admission of the document. We'll object to that too. But Your Honours' previous rulings has been that the Defence Counsel may put the fact that they seek to establish, but they should not refer to an expert report which gives extra weight to that fact until that's been established.
Mr. President, what goes for the goose also goes for the gander. Learned counsel opposite did earlier indicate or flag to the witness that they did intercepts. And on the basis of that, he put his questions. They did intercepts.
Did you object at the time?
I did not object, Mr. President, because I believe it was permissible under the circumstances.
Objection is sustained to the extent that prosecutor is saying you may not pop that question after you've already flagged the fact of expert report.
Mr. President, I'll try as much as possible to comply with the ruling. I would put my question, and if it falls afoul of your Honor's ruling, please indicate and I'll withdraw it. Thank you, Mr. President.
At this stage, what you do is move away to something else, and if you want deem it necessary to return to this without drawing attention to it.
Yes, I would do just that, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, you have told this court that you do not recognize the building in the video I had showed you. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Witness, we say that that is where that is Mr. Ruto's house in Sugoi. What do you say to that?
Maybe I may request that you play it again so that I may view it closely.
Mr. Witness, earlier on you said you've never seen it. You've never been there. Do you recall that?
Yes.
So, Mr. Witness, what does that say about your statement to the prosecution that you went to Honorable Ruto's house on 13 December 2007 in Sugoi? What does that say to the evidence you gave to the prosecution?
Mr. Fall, you have to live with that. There's something called one question too many. The witness wants to see the video, the witness needs to see the video. You're the one who brought it in. So.
Mr. President, I stand guided by your Honor's direction. Thank you very much. Could kindly play the video again, track 1. It should be from 5 minutes plus. Mr. Witness, this is the image we showed you before. Do you recognize this building?
Yes, I recognize it now.
How do you recognize it?
Yes, this is Honorable Ruto's home.
How do you know that, Mr. Witness? You told the court you've never been there. How do you know it's Honorable Ruto's home?
I've been there, but sometimes back, the year 2004.
Oh, now you've been there in year 2004. Did you go there in 2007?
No.
Mr. Witness, we investigated. Why did you go there in 2004?
There was a homecoming party for Mr. Ruto. In fact, it is 2003, not 2004. 2003 June. Mr. Ruto had won the 2002 elections for for Eldoret constituency. So he was an MP. He had a homecoming party.
And Mr. Ruto's home, the main building, was it one building or many buildings?
I don't remember.
And when you first saw this photograph, you said there were many buildings. Do you now change your view about that?
Yes, I saw at first it looked as if there were many buildings.
We have examined the telephone records of some of the people you named to have been present at the meeting at Honorable Ruto's house on 13 December 2007. Would it surprise you, Mr. Witness, to note that the telephone that is attributed to person C, please take a look at the PIS, person C.
Your Honours, are we not on the same subject that we had disposed of earlier, referring to?
One second.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would it surprise you that the telephone attributed to person C was not in Sugoi, as you claim, but was in Kipkaren between the times 10 minutes past 10 in the morning and 20 minutes to 2 in the afternoon? What do you say to that?
I accept.
Why do you accept?
Because I never attended that meeting, and I'm sure that meeting never took place.
And Mr. Witness, the telephone number attributed to person C, we have also examined that, and it reveals that person D, rather, please take a look at the PIS, and person D was in Turbo from 13 minutes past 1 to 25 minutes to 2 p.m. on that day. What do you say to that?
I accept.
Oh, but why do you accept?
I accept because I know there was no such a meeting at Ruto's home.
We have also examined the telephone of the telephone attributed to person R, and the results show that from 11:45 to 5 minutes past 1 p.m. on that day, he was in Eldoret and not in Sugoi. What do you say to that?
Still the same, I accept.
Why do you accept, Mr. Witness?
The same reason remains that that meeting never took place.
We have also looked at the telephone attributed to person S, and the results revealed that from 10:48 to 11:48 on 13 December 2007, he was also in Eldoret and not in Sugoi. What do you say to that?
I still accept.
Why do you accept that, Mr. Witness?
For the same reason that that meeting was not there.
Mr. Witness, why then did you tell the prosecution that you attended a meeting at Honorable Ruto's house on 13 December 2007?
It was to make my statement more reliable.
I would now move on to another topic. You did tell the prosecution that there was a rally at location C on 21 December 2007, and this is contained in tab 2, that is your diary, at page 0071, tab 2, Mr. President. That is exhibit 133. And this is what you said, paragraph 28. At 21 December 2007, I have entered in my diary, in my 2007 diary, ODM rally location C. And in my 2008 diary, I have entered ODM rally, location C and H. This is my handwriting, and I made the entry in my 2008 diary in the evening of the same day. Do you remember saying that to the prosecution?
Yes.
And you went on to say that this is the rally you referred to previously in your statement at paragraph 45. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Mr. President, I would direct your attention to paragraph 45 of the statement that is in tab 1, page 8, specifically at 0026. And Mr. Witness, at para 49, at para 55, this is what you said. At around 2 p.m., Ruto arrived by car from the direction of Eldoret. He came with a red Toyota Prado. He was traveling in a convoy of maybe 15 cars. The cars all parked in a row, and Ruto's car parked in the middle. I saw Ruto get out of his car. Do you remember that? That is what you told the prosecution?
Yes.
Mr. Witness, do you know that there was a rally at Huruma on 20 December 2007? Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware.
And Huruma, would it be in the same constituency as location C?
Yes.
And both locations were in Eldoret North, represented by Honorable Ruto, correct?
Correct.
I would now wish to show you a short video. I would like to play KEN-D09-0021-0041. This is a document which had already been given an EVD number. It's been exhibited. It is EVD-T-D09-00062. And Mr. President, the transcript is contained in tab 30, KEN-D09-0021-0042. That too is EVD-T-D09-00063.
7 days to go, and Raila Odinga and Pentagon member William Ruto were in Kabarnet, home to former President Moi. And it was a day after Moi, hosted President Kibaki in the same Kabarnet showgrounds. Here, Raila knew exactly what to say.
Jana Kibaki alikuwa hapa, sio? Alikuwa hapa. Aliamba kura. Alikaribishwa na nani? Na nani?
Watu wa PNU wawache kutumia mzee Moi. Mzee Moi si mtu ya PNU, ni wetu. Ni kweli ama si kweli? We are telling the PNU characters not to misuse the former president. Giving him, the former president has been assigned petty errands to go around shopping centers asking for votes. That is not an assignment befitting a former head of state. We want Moi to play in the league of Mandela and other renowned people.
But the climax of the North Rift tour, which saw them visit 4 different places, was Huruma grounds in Eldoret town. Raila told the people here that he would be more than happy if they elected ODM candidates from bottom to top in what is commonly known as 3Ps.
Chungwa chini, chungwa katikati, na chungwa juu. Sasa 3Ps tu. Hatutaki madoadoa.
Those who may have been involved in corruption in the past were put on notice here, with Raila saying that the law will take its course.
Mimi grupu hiyo yote unajua wale watu wa Golden Back na Wangulisi sitawalinda kisheria, nitawacha sheria ifanye kazi yao, wapeleke mahakamani na wajibu, na ile mali yetu ambayo wameiba warudishe ingine kurudi kwa wananchi wa Kenya.
He said his government will ensure that civil servants are well taken care of.
Nitahakikisha kwamba watumishi wa umma wetu, walimu, askari polisi, watumishi wa umma wote wamepata haki yao kulingana na sheria ya nchi yetu.
Pentagon member William Ruto claimed that government was plotting to rig election, but they will fail, he said.
Haki anaenda nyumbani kwa sababu ameshindwa. Sawa sawa. Ile kitu wana
Mr. President, just to flag that the portion playing is the last segment in the transcript at page. I'm sorry, the stamp is not very clear, but it's the last segment in the transcript that I had just referred to on page 0045. Could you continue playing it, please?
Before you continue playing it, Mr. Fowl, you say this is now evidence in the case, isn't it? Has it already been admitted?
Yes, Mr. President.
And we've seen this before at least once or twice.
In the context of the Madoa issue. Don't vote.
Yes, and what I'm trying to find out from you is does this video have any close bearing to the testimony of this particular witness on the stand?
Yes, Mr. President. It contradicts the witness in a fundamental way. Thank you.
Tegemea sasa ati ni kuiba kura. Sisi tunawaambia wale wanapanga njama ya kuiba kura, tumewakundua tayari. Hakuna kura wataiba kwa sababu tuko macho.
Kijana kwa kila mtu. Let's end it there. And Mr. Witness, you agree that Honorable Ruto was saying that they want to steal the votes, they plan to steal the votes, but that would not happen because they are alert. Is that what you heard?
Yes, I heard.
Who said that, Mr. Witness?
Mr. Ruto.
And Mr. Witness, at the beginning of the video, you heard the announcer said 7 days before the election. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Where did you say the transcript is?
What? Tab 30, Mr. President.
The thing is, one difficulty I have with the the ERN numbers and a lot of your documents is that the terminal numbers tend not to appear because of photocopying and that sort of thing.
My apologies for that, Mr. President. If
so
necessary,
let's then, at tab 30, the first page, according to the ERN number, ends with 0042. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. President.
All right. Now let's look at the native pagination of that document, forgetting the ERN, because that doesn't help me. What native pagination are we looking at? As in page 1, 2, 3 and all that stuff.
The last page seems to put a question mark. That should be the third page, Mr. President. And in fact, the numbering is not sequential. The first page shows 1. The second page also showed 1. Then you have 2. Then a question mark. I must apologize, Mr. President.
Well, you need to be careful about this thing. This is your case. So if you're producing documents that are confusing to follow.
Mr. President, I do believe that the contents are correct besides the pagination. But like I said, I apologize for this, and we'll be more careful with these next time.
So the last page of that transcript, something about an answer in English, 000214, is that it?
Yes, Mr. President.
All right. So where are we looking at?
We were looking at the last translation of Honorable Ruto's speech before Kosge youths, all of them, let's vote 100%. Thank you very much, Mr. President. May I now ask to show the witness the newspaper contained in KEN, contained in EVD -T-D09-00080. It's already an exhibit, Mr. President, and it's contained in tab 31, Mr. President.
Your Honours, may I ask my learned friend to establish the basis for putting this to the witness? What is the connection with this witness? I'm still at a loss as to why the last document was shown to the witness.
Mr. President.
You mean the transcript?
I'm referring to the transcript and this tab as well. The witness has not said he was at that meeting. And if my learned friend is simply putting pieces of defense evidence, miscellaneous defense evidence for this witness to confirm, the prosecution would object to that.
Mr. President, we have a reason for doing this. The witness has indicated that there was a rally at a particular location, location C, on 21st December. Location C is very close to Huruma grounds. It is very unlikely that the ODM would have held a rally.
Let's not argue the
exactly. Thank you, Mr. President.
matter now. Mr. Steinberg, I remember I had asked Mr. Fowle where he was going, and he said there's something he's driving at. Let's see what it is he's driving at.
Well, Your Honours, I think he's just told us the evidence is already in record, on the record, which tends to support, if it's correct, that there was a rally at the location he's mentioning. Is the unlikelihood of another rally taking place in the same area not a matter we should be dealing with an argument rather than through this witness?
Proceed, Mr. Fowle.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, court officer, kindly put up the screen this document, KEN-D09-0023-0031. Court officer, kindly enlarge the writing under the picture in the middle of the document, please. Mr. Witness, this is the standard newspaper of Friday, the 21st December. And look at the middle picture and the writings under it. It says ODM supporters cheer speakers during a campaign rally in Eldoret yesterday. Do you see that? Do you see that, Mr. Witness?
No.
Mr. President, Council, I do not have that document available. I am showing it to the witness through e-court, but the image is very small. I'm trying to zoom it. If it's a public document, could it be displayed? Yes.
Yes, it is a public document, please.
The document is displayed, Mr. President.
Mr. Witness, immediately below the middle picture, do you see the writings, ODM supporters cheer speakers during a campaign rally in Eldoret yesterday?
Yes, I've seen.
And yesterday, according to this paper, would have been the 20 December 2007. You agree?
Yes.
I would also read one paragraph immediately below the picture, the last paragraph just before Honorable Ruto's photograph. And it says, speaking during campaign rallies held at Konoin, Bureti, and Anyamoy constituencies on Wednesday, Ruto exuded confidence that the region would overwhelmingly vote for ODM. Do you see that?
Yes.
And Wednesday, according to this paper, would have been the 19th December 2007, correct?
Yes.
Konoin is spelled K-O-N-O-I-N. Bureti is spelled B-U-R-E-T-I. And Ainamoy is spelled A-I-N-A-M-O-I. So, Mr. Witness, this paper effectively establishes that Honorable Ruto was in a rally on the 19th November in Ainamoy area, in Eldoret on the 20th December. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you. I would now play a video for you, and it is contained in KEN-D09-0038-0449. Please. The translation is contained in tab 32, 0038-0463.
At 2 p.m. Raila Odinga stepped in
please? Could you start it again, please?
Raila Odinga stepped in Kapkatet at 2 p.m. to meet with thousands of ODM supporters who had pitched tent here since morning. He immediately accused President Kibaki of dishing out new districts without proper plan in the name of winning votes. He, however, said his government will make all constituencies districts.
Kuwa rais ambaye anagawanya na district, nikienda tu nasema district hapo district pale. Tutatangaza kwamba ma districts zote, constituencies zote, sema mwakilishi bungeni hapa ni ma district yote.
Raila also defended the Majimbo system of government, or rather devolution, saying that is the only way to ensure development.
Tunasema sasa pesa itatoka Nairobi na kukuja hapa pembeni kulingana na taratibu ambayo imeandikwa ndani ya katiba.
Once again, they ask Kenyans to elect ODM candidates from bottom to top.
Majeshi wa Raila ni kuhakikisha kwamba sisi wa Kenya tunampatia wajumbe wa kutosha wa chama chake cha ODM.
Kapkatet grounds is considered a historic ground in this part of Kenya, and resolutions have never missed whenever there is a political rally here.
Kapkatet declaration tunasema mwaka huu sisi watu wa bonde la ufa.
Mr. Witness, this video shows that there was a rally at Kapkatet Stadium, does it not?
It does.
And the reporter stated at the outset of the video that Raila Odinga stepped into Kapkatet at 2 p.m. to meet with thousands of ODM supporters. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard.
Mr. President, I would need just 5 minutes to close on this topic. Would you kindly kindly indulge me to proceed? Just 5 minutes or even less.
Yes, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would now wish to show the witness a newspaper. For the record, Mr. President, Kapkatet is spelled K-A-P-K-A-T-E-T. Kindly show the witness newspaper KEN-0038-0040. It's contained in tab 33, Mr. President.
The witness is being shown the document.
Could you kindly highlight the date on the top left-hand corner of the document, please? Mr. Witness, can you see that it is written the Saturday Standard, December 22nd, 2007? Could you see that?
Yes, I've seen.
I want to read 2-3 paragraphs on the column on the left-hand side. It starts with at Kapkatet Stadium. And this is what it says. At Kapkatet Stadium, Raila again expressed confidence Kenyans will elect him the 4th president. Do you see that?
Yes, I have seen.
Okay. Let's scroll down a little bit to the last paragraph in that column, just above the headlines, police to beef up security on polling day, says Ali. Just above that, it says, running mate Mr. Musalia Mudavadi, ODM chairman Mr. Henry Kosgei, Pentagon member William Ruto, and former MPs Mr. Kipkalia Kones and Mr. Isaac Ruto and Mr. Charles Keter accompanied him. Did you see that?
Yes, I have seen.
And Mr. Witness, it would mean that Honorable Ruto accompanied Honorable Odinga to the Kapkatet rally on 21st December 2007. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And Mr. Witness, just back to the transcript, back to the video. You recall at the outset, the speaker said Raila Odinga arrived at 2 p.m. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Mr. Witness, Honorable Ruto was at a rally in Kapkatet on 21st December 2007 in the afternoon at 2 p.m., having accompanied Honorable Odinga. What do you say to that, having seen the video and this newspaper?
I agree.
Why then did you tell the prosecution that Honorable Ruto held a rally at location C on 21 December 2007 and arrived at about around 2 p.m. Why did you say that to the prosecution?
It was my own version.
What do you mean by that?
That it was my own story, cook-up.
You lied about it, didn't you?
Yes.
Mr. President, at this stage, I would ask to put into evidence the video that I have just used. It's Ken-D09-0038-0449.
Prosecutor?
No objection, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor.
The video will be marked as the next Ruto defense exhibit.
The document KEN D09-0038-0449, public, will bear the number EVD T D09-00255.
Mr. President, I'd ask that transcript contained in Ken-D09-0038-0463 contained in tab 32 be admitted into evidence.
No objection, Your Honors, with the normal caveat.
We have no objection, Mr. President.
Admitted as the next Ruto defense exhibit.
The public document KEN D09-0038-0463 will bear the number EVD T D09-00256.
And the last item I used, Mr. President, is KEN-D09-0038-0440 contained in tab 33, newspaper of the Cap Cathedral. Thank you, Mr. President.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Kiginkatwa?
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted as the next Ruto defense exhibit.
The public document KEN D09-0038-0440 will bear the number EVD T D09-00257.
Mr. President, I have a few more topics I would wish to explore with the witness, and I crave your Honor's indulgence to give me the morning session of Monday to wrap up with this witness. Thank you.
Mr. Kiginkatwa, you still say you need one session, is that it?
Yeah, I think that would be adequate, Mr. President, for me.
All right. Prosecutor, are you in a position to inform on the lineup for the next?
I'm not sure what you mean by the lineup, Your Honors.
Yeah, the next witness after this.
Your Honors, I understand the next witness will be witness 495. We'll be ready to proceed on Monday with him.
Witness, thank you very much for your patience. So we will need you to come back on Monday, and we hope to be done with your testimony by then, assuming there are no unusual developments that will get in the way of doing that. As you know, we lost a day yesterday due to various reasons, including difficulty with establishing a video link. So let's hope none of those things happen again. In the meantime, we hope to see you on Monday at the same time.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. The court will adjourn.
All right. We will